actually, HeRA is not our first idea. Our first idea is actually to build a video editor. But then we found that the motion graphics feature excited the people we talk to. They are most excited about this. They don't care about other features because there are many alternatives. So that's why we decided to kind of pivot. We only focus on motion graphics. We built a prototype in 2 days. We apply YC and we got an interview in 1 week.
Most founders don't think twice about the address they list when they incorporate, until they realize it's actually their home address that's showing up on public records. Stable fixes that. It gives you a real business address you can use everywhere: incorporation, IRS, banks, vendors. It keeps your personal information private and helps your business look professional from day one. Every piece of mail that comes into that address, Stable digitizes with an AI summary that tells you exactly what each item is and what needs your attention, all from one secure dashboard. So from your first piece of mail to fully automated workflows, Stable grows with your business. To sign up for virtual address, head over to usestable.com/pod, P-O-D, to get 50% off on your first 3 months. That's usestable.com/pod, P-O-D. Thank you, Stable, for sponsoring today's episode. Now back to the show. Welcome back to the Lobster Talks, where I bring you the best YC founders. Today, I'm very excited because I'm having a discussion with Chia from HeRA Video. HeRA is the AI motion designer. They're replacing hours and hours of After Effects to just have a few seconds of results with just a few prompts with AI. And it works really well. They have 200,000 users already and growing. Chia, welcome to the show. I'm very excited.
Yeah, thank you, Gabriel. Hi, everyone. I'm Chia. I'm a co-founder and CTO of HeRA. And yeah, it's been a fantastic journey since we got into YC. And it's probably the most unexpected and fabulous 2 months. Yeah.
Wow.
The past 2 months.
Very cool. So yeah, we're fresh off YC. We're recording a few days after the end of the program. Let's start there. Tell me, take us behind the scenes. Tell me how it was. How was your YC experience?
YC in June, and actually it's our fourth time of application, so we didn't expect we'll get in, and that's also the time we kind of look for other opportunities. So we talk to other investors, but then we got into YC, and then we rejected the investors because we believe YC can take us further.
Take me back to the beginnings. When do you say to yourself with your co-founder, okay, we have a way, and because your technology is very specific, we have a way to take this process that tens of thousands or hundreds of thousands of video editors are doing. It's very slow and manual and tedious, and we can just replace it completely with AI. What's the birth of the idea?
So it's because of my co-founder, Peter. So he used to stay in a company. The company acquires and manages other YouTube channels. So he was like a video producer or video director. He ran multiple very famous YouTube channels. So he got a chance to collaborate with other video editors or animators to produce the videos. So he found that he had to spend thousands of dollars per week and to spend hours to chase those animators just to produce a couple seconds of video in the video. So he found that in a video, there are only 10% of a video are animation or motion graphics, but it took 70% of the budget. So that's how he discovered the problem. But actually, HeRA is not our first idea. Our first idea is actually to build a video editor. It's like a end-to-end text-based video editor. We can create an entire video, using the product. But then we found that the motion graphics feature excited the people we talk to. They are most excited about this. They don't care about other features because there are many alternatives, right? There are so many video editors in market, but they are interested in the motion graphics feature. Yeah. So that's why we decided to kind of pivot. We only focus on motion graphics, and we built a prototype in 2 days. We apply YC, and we got interview in 1 week. And that's, yeah, since November last year. And we doubled down since then on this idea.
It's crazy. I mean, you
Hmm.
just, and again, a pivot story. So that's, so interesting. So many success stories come from pivots. You saw the pull of the market, the editor. There's many others. They're not that interested, but this motion graphic thing,
Hmm.
they are interested. First application, you get into YC, and something we have not mentioned is you both live in Berlin at this time with your co-founder.
Yeah.
So you decide to move here to SF
Hmm.
for YC. Is that correct?
Yeah, for summer batch, because you have to be here physically.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the
And
requirement.
and did you see any changes? Do things go faster here in
Hmm.
SF compared with Berlin?
Yeah, definitely. It's like 100 times better than Berlin. Even though Berlin is a tech hub, there are many stops there, but the overall vibe and the people and network, I mean, San Francisco obviously is the center of the software in the world. So yeah, that's something. I'm personally a software engineer, so it's always kind of my dream to be here, be in Silicon Valley. So yeah, so you have a chance to meet other great founders, great people, and leaders in industry, and that actually yeah, inspire us a lot in the past 2 months.
Wow, really
Hmm.
cool. And so we were talking about this before we start this recording. I think your co-founder told me the same thing. You decided that you're going back to Berlin after the batch. So
Hmm.
just to give some context, when non-Americans come to YC, of course, YC wants you or
Hmm.
encourage or pushes you to stay in San Francisco. And because you've been selected by YC, which is a very selective, it's pretty tough to get in. You can usually apply for a visa here, usually an O1 visa, and of course there are no guarantees, but most, if not almost all, of YC founders usually get it. To be able to stay in San Francisco. And you have a product that's online and could be used or
Hmm.
built from anywhere in the world. So that's the context, but you chose to go back to Berlin. So tell us more about the framework of this decision, why you chose to do this.
So first, we live in Berlin the past few years. We kind of like Berlin, but that's not a reason we should so say we should stay in Berlin, because to build a company, you need to think for the company. So I think the reason is that we believe uh, we can find great talent in Berlin, and it might be less competitive compared to here, because right now everyone is trying to hire AI engineer right now. So it's very competitive here, and also it's very expensive.
Yeah.
And so hiring in Berlin, we believe we can find the great talent with more affordable market price. And also the product we're building, we are a little bit more consumer facing, like a prosumer facing. We are not pure B2B product. We don't need to go to the office building to integrate with them physically. So, and our customers, our users are everywhere in the world.
Yeah.
So we feel we don't necessarily need to come here, because many companies, they are building, say, a dev tool. Most of their customers are in SF.
Yeah.
So I think they have the motivation to come here, to be here, try to talk to the potential customers. But for us, I think our market is the world. I think, yeah, building the product, we can build a product anywhere in the world.
Yeah.
And I think there's like a growth in terms of software companies in Europe right now, like Lobster. They are in Sweden, and 11th Lab, they're in London. I think there are many great software companies in Europe. So I think, yeah, why not? We give it a shot. I think we can achieve great results, even though we stay in Berlin. But having said that, we will still come back to SF every a few months, trying to stay up to date with the software industry. Yeah, that's our current strategy.
It's very interesting because it's, I'm from Europe as well. I'm from France. And,
Hmm.
and so I sort of have this debate often and hear this debate often, sometimes in my LinkedIn comments as well.
Hmm.
Um, YC published a study just for the US, not even like Europe was not even in the
Hmm.
in the study, which is funny that if you stay in San Francisco compared to going somewhere else, your chances of becoming a unicorn doubles. I'm sure they've told you this already.
Yes.
What did YC have to say with your decision? What did your group partner have to say with your decision? Are they trying to keep you here? What was their reaction?
It's kind of okay. So I think the biggest concern is that we shouldn't be disconnected to the culture and the latest knowledge here. I think internet is, you can watch video, watch a podcast anywhere in the world. So I think there's many ways to stay connected to the latest trend, and you can even connect people online. So I think it's about mentality. Even though you stay outside of SF, but your mentality should stay here. I think that's the most important part. Yeah.
Yeah, I can see that. That's what I did for some time, even if you're not always here, and then you're going to come back and visit. There's always, of course, the cheaper talent, so you can just hire people for cheaper, which gives you more runway. You can survive longer.
Yeah, that's also one concern, because some people believe AI winter is coming, so it's a bubble might burst anytime soon. But I mean, I don't believe so. But that's one reason we have longer runway. We can, or that increases our survival rate.
Yeah, it's very interesting. And so, were both of the co-founders already? So you and your co-founder already, you knew from the beginning you were going back to Europe, or was there a debate? And my other question is, do you have a fear that you have more runway, but you grow slower, where here you might have less runway and grow faster?
Yeah. So there's a discussion or a little bit debate. I mean, first we had to go back, right? Because I mean, we need to apply the visa. That will also take a couple months, 3 to 4 months. But we want to get started as early as possible. So that's our current decision. I think we should be fine there.
Well, I hope you will, because by the way, I've been using the product and it's really great.
Yeah, I think that's I think everyone can vibe code app right now, and I always feel surprised, even because I'm the only one who coded the entire app, and that's being used by over 1,000 paying users right now. So
and hundreds of thousands of free users as well.
Yeah, so I think the impact created by a single person can be huge. So I think we don't need a lot of people. We just need to find the right talent. Probably would need 1 or 2 or 3. I mean, less than 3. We just need to find those best talent in Berlin or in Europe, and I think we'll be fine for the initial 1 or 2 years.
Let's hope so. Let's hope you will. Okay, before we continue, let me please remind you to subscribe to this channel if it's not done already. Every week, I bring you a new YC founder. We talk of their journey and YC itself, so you can turn on the notification bell to know when we publish a new video on YouTube. If you're on your favorite podcast platform, please consider leaving us a 5-star review. It really helps. And check out my solo channel. I also do videos alone on VC and the YC ecosystem. So you can just type in my name in the YouTube search bar, Gabriel Harrison. Thank you so much. Back to the show. You said we want to find talent in Europe, in Berlin or in Europe. So would you consider as well being a remote company?
No.
Okay.
Berlin only. We want to be the on-site only company right now.
That's so. You are following some trends of being, not remote. You're not following all the YC trends to be coming in here.
Yeah. YC recommends work in person and come to SF. So,
so you pick and choose.
Yeah, we at least. Yeah, we follow at least one. Yeah.
Okay, that's great. It is super interesting. Again, it's a debate so many people have. There's debates in Europe of what's the YC of Europe, and the best companies from Europe, the YC of Europe is YC. They come and do YC themselves. But then it's always a question of, do you go back or do you stay? Let's just table that. Thank you for sort of walking me through your framework, and maybe you come back on the show in 2 years, 3 years, and we can debrief. Okay, how was it in Europe? Are you still in Europe? Are you in SF? We'll see.
Yeah.
Okay, walk me through, or could you give me like a brief overview of how technically it works, because I know you guys built some very, very cool tech. And I just want you to have the opportunity to share it, because for me, it was very interesting to sort of go behind the scenes and understand how it actually works.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so we are building AI motion designer. So basically, we are building motion graphics app, but powered by AI. So you don't need to learn how to click the buttons and menus. That's how it works. If you use After Effects, you need to learn, spend hours and hours to watch the tutorials to learn which button you should click, which menu you should click, to configure a million things about your motion graphics. And I think inherently, After Effects, they are code-based, because when you click button, you configure a parameter for your motion graphics. So we are also code-based. So we think, why not we just use AI to generate the code, for motion graphics. So that's what we tried, and it worked surprisingly well. And one of the reasons that did well is because the LM models, since Sonnet 3.5 came out last year, LM models are so good at writing code. And that fits our use case perfectly, because we want to use code to represent motion graphics. So under hood, we guide AI how to write the code we want the AI to generate. And so by leveraging HTML, JavaScript, CSS, because just like web design, you can create motion graphics in web. So we apply the same thing for video use case. Yeah. So in terms of technology, it's similar to the current vibe coding apps, like Ripley, Double. They all generate code. So we kind of apply the same thing to the video creation use case. Yeah.
Wow. When you say it like this, it sounds simple, but I know it's not that simple to build.
Yeah, there are a lot of challenges. I think one of the biggest challenges that, for vibe coding apps, you are building a website, right? So, but for us, it's video, and video has an additional dimension, which is time.
Yeah.
So it's more complicated than a single website. Yeah, that's one thing. And it's because we have a time dimension, so we need to figure out what's the best user interface to allow users to create a video, not just by prompting, because even though prompting is easy, but there are still many other interactions that will be easier to use some manual controls. For example, when you want to move an element in video from here to here, if you prompt, I will say, okay, I want to move the element to a little bit right, but I don't know how to describe how far I should move. So for this case, it's most intuitive just to drag the element to the place I want. So same for animation, I think it would be more intuitive. I can just point an element. I will say I want to make this element jump from this point to another point. Yeah, so basically we need to figure out what's the easiest and most intuitive user interface, because we don't want to create more and more buttons and eventually become like After Effects. So it needs to be very simple, very intuitive. That's something we still need to figure out. How do we design this to best to let AI results and manual control to play nicely together.
Yeah, lots of things to.
Mhm.
Thank you for this second part, because the first part, it really sounded easy. Oh, it's like vibe coding for video, and like, okay, well, that's it. No, it's actually very complex, and I think you did a pretty good job, because when you use it, it's pretty easy to understand how it works. You can prompt it, and then you can just click, and move. So that's very good. And again, I've been using it briefly, and I think it's a great tool, but my opinion doesn't matter. What matters is you got hundreds of thousands of people to use it. I think you went from almost 0 to 100,000 users in a few weeks, in like less time than YC. So what's the technique? What's the secret? What did you do to acquire those customers so quickly?
Yeah, I think there's a combination of multiple reasons. I think one is the market pool, and I mean, of course, we did some marketing. We partnered with some video creators. They created some videos for us, but and surprisingly, I mean, even though so we asked some video creators to create video for us, but what we also found there are many other video creators or YouTubers. They created video to talk about HeRA voluntarily. We don't ask them to do that.
Wow.
They just want to share. So yeah, so we saw there's a huge, it's a huge pain point. So anyone, the YouTubers, we don't ask them to create video. They perfectly explained the pain point in their video, so it's not scripted. Yeah. So I think there's a shared pain, right? Because still today, After Effects is a standard. If you want to create professional motion graphics, you have to use After Effects. And that's the pain point many people share. They don't want to spend a lot of budget to hire someone to use After Effects. They don't want to learn and use After Effects by themselves. They just want something easy and quick to create motion graphics, which is missing in the current market. And when they found out HeRA, I think there's a sudden click. They realize, wow, you can just describe what you want in plain English, and you actually get it, and that's a magic moment. Yeah.
It's crazy because it really always makes me go back to what YC says: make something people want.
Mm-hmm.
It again, people sort of, I think, discard this sentence because it's so simple: make something people want. But that's exactly what happened. You made something that did not exist, solves a big problem, replaces a very cumbersome process with a very simple way of doing it in a couple minutes. It's much cheaper in terms of money, and of course in terms of time, it's much, much faster. And so, yeah, you said the word market pull, which is just, product market fit, basically. And then people just do videos about you like this for free. It reminds me of few other companies that I've invested in that they just get free publicity because that's how good the tool is.
Yeah.
Do you see it this way? Because I think, I mean,
Yeah.
Of course I know you're modest, but it is what it is. You just built a very, very superior tool that did not exist before.
Yeah, I think the best marketing technique is word of mouth, right? The best marketing is no marketing. You just let people, when people use the product, they like it, they talk to other people, so it will be exponential by nature. So doing marketing is kind of like that. I think I heard from someone, it's like a tax we pay because we don't have product market fit. Because when you have a product market fit, you don't need to do marketing. So, but I think right now, I don't think we have the perfect product market fit yet. There are a lot of challenges we need to solve, but we did see a very strong traction. So our focus right now is to actually find the product market fit, and then if we actually find it, we don't need to do any marketing. It will spread virally, hopefully.
It's interesting. It reminds me of Tesla. I don't think Tesla does any advertising, and I think Musk said we just do the best cars.
Yeah,
people will just talk about it, and everyone that has a Tesla tells you about it, and it's such an amazing car. You hear it over and over again, and you keep thinking, oh, okay, probably it is. I'm very curious to hear why you think you don't have product market fit. You just said,
Yeah.
when we will have product market fit, it will spread everywhere. It looks to me from the outside that it's already spreading everywhere, and that you have people making videos. And so I would think that's product market fit. You don't think you have it. Tell me why.
Yeah, so our goal is to power every YC company, because every YC company, they need to produce a product launch video. They need to talk about what their company is doing. And right now, every company, what they are doing is that they will pay, they will find a motion designer and they will pay a couple $1,000s to create a 30-second to 1 minute video. And that's the current standard. So we want to power every YC company to produce that kind of product video using HeRA, which is something it's hard to do today. So right today you can create a couple seconds clip maybe in HeRA easily, but we want to create a continuous 1 minute motion graphics. Elements will smoothly animate without a gap. That's something is still challenging today. So that's something we need to figure out. So I think we will have an actual product market fit if users can create a complete product video using in HeRA in less than 30 minutes.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's pretty similar to the other video models. Most of the generic video models, not doing something specific like motion design, just allow you today to create 5-10 second clips, and nothing today allows you to create a full minute video, let alone a full hour video. If you want to sort of generate a movie, even if you have the script, even if you have the prompt, nothing will let you generate a 60-minute video. Do you need to wait for some of the models and some of the technology to become better to get there? Or is it just on your part, the engineering work, to make this happen?
At this point, I think it should be already possible. I think it's a pure engineering task or challenge. So we need to figure out, how do we produce the code? I mean, because the code, you can code for anything, right? So technically, we can already produce that kind of video by using code. But the problem is that how do we generate a code for that long video in one or a few shots? Yeah, because when you want to generate a longer code, it will be less reliable, and there will be more error prone, right?
Yeah.
So something we need to. So AI model enhancement of AI model would definitely help, but we couldn't only rely on that. So we also need to optimize like prompt engineering or context engineering, and even we need to build our own modules because we couldn't rely AI to generate every code for us. For some cases, for example, like map animation, that's something we need to use our own modules. So it will be like a hybrid. So we'll have our own like a motion graphics engine and modules behind the scene, and also we need to guide AI to use those modules and to produce the video in a most reliable and efficient way. Yeah.
Well, very cool.
Yeah.
I wanted to talk about Adobe for a minute. After Effects is really who you're going after. It is almost a monopoly. I mean, today, if you don't know about HeRA, now you do, thanks to this podcast. But if you don't know about HeRA, you're using After Effects. There's not much else. I mean, but anyway, it's a market leader. Do you think they still have a big moat around their product? And the moat being, I guess, the branding, the distribution, the integration in their workflows. And if they do, how do you displace that? Because they're your biggest sort of enemy to kill here.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely. I think Adobe, in general, they are for professionals, right? So their software, After Effects is used by motion designer, and Photoshop is by graphic designer. So in general, even though they try to add more and more AI features into their software, but still they are for professionals. And I think that's also why Figma is so popular, because it's much easier to use. It's web-based. So similar to Figma, right? So Figma, I think they are also, Adobe is trying to acquire them. And for motion graphics, I think there's a missing piece. There's no equivalent web-based, easy to use motion graphics app in the market right now. So that's why people need to use After Effects. I have no doubt that Adobe, they have a big mode, which is like they have an ecosystem different apps have a link to each other. They have a huge like assets library. So that's a challenge for us. But I think our biggest advantage is that we started something from scratch. We are building an AI native motion graphics.
Yeah.
We don't have a legacy. We are not building an AI on top of a legacy application. So I think we have an advantage to actually reimagine what the AI native motion graphics app should look like. Yeah. So I think we have more freedom to do more experiments. And also we are startups, so we can move faster. Yeah, that's also one advantage. So yeah, I think maybe, I don't know, we hope in 5 years, HeRA will be the default motion graphics app people will use to create, motion graphics.
That's all I'm wishing for you. But it looks very possible. It's already taking this way. I mean, it's impressive. It's very interesting. You're the Figma to motion design. What Figma did to design, that's I want to say 2D or that's static, that's not animated. A new web-based. It's not AI native, but just better to use, collaborative, etc. You're doing this with motion design. You want to be the Figma to the. And so there's a couple questions that come from that. First of all, will you make your product collaborative, just like Figma is?
I think so. Yeah, I think it will be. Depends on our user requirement. I think that we already see our users they try to their entire teams use HeRA. So obviously, if we add collaboration feature, they can benefit from that. Yeah.
Okay. And then, so as you said, Adobe tried to acquire Figma. Of course, it didn't go through. Famous story that I won't go into details here because I think everyone knows it. But would you sell to Adobe if they wanted to acquire? Of course, if everything is right, the price, blah blah blah. Like, would you be willing at some point to sell to Adobe?
At this point, for sure, not. No, because I truly believe we are building something huge.
Yeah.
And our users, they believe our vision, So even though some people might feel, okay, they have a higher quality bar, but every user, they told us, they thought that we are building something great and we have a great potential. We are sitting on a $1 billion idea. So our users actually, I think this kind of encouragement, something we need to make us to want to double down on this idea to see how far we can go. Maybe eventually we'll be Figma scale. For selling to Adobe, I don't know. I think Figma, I think they almost was sold to Adobe at some point. And I think it's best not that they wasn't acquired by Adobe because I don't know. I don't know. I think in general people don't like Adobe so much because they kind of they are forced to use their software, and so I think we will be best for us if we stay independent. Yeah.
Or maybe you team up with Figma. You do the anti-Adobe team, Figma plus HeRA versus Adobe. That would be an idea for you. Okay. You're right. Some people don't really like Adobe. Speaking of which, on that specific topic of Adobe Figma, do you think we're seeing sort of a debundling of creative and creator tools? And so is Adobe's business in danger in general?
Yeah, I think I recently saw a chart and Adobe's kind of stock price kind of slowing down. So I think there's a trend, right? Because even though they have a decades of history, they have a huge number of users, but because of AI, everything moves so fast. I think big company just couldn't catch up the speed.
Yeah.
And also they have a legacy. They couldn't just do everything very differently. They also need to consider their existing business. And just like Google, doing AI might contradict their existing business.
Yeah.
Yeah. Building something because their users are professionals, right? Building something for non-professionals kind of contradict with their business models. But talking for your question about it's about unbundled for creativity tools. I think so, right? I mean, for Figma is one case. People use Figma for web design, and also I think right now image generation, like Nano Banana from Google, or Midjourney, they focus on image generation. They kind of replace Photoshop, right? So I think definitely something is happening, and I don't think there's no single company can own the entire creativity world. Yeah, there are just so many things that they couldn't be the best for everything. So, and we just need to be best in motion graphics. I think that's how we win.
Very cool. Have you seen major productions, major YouTube channels or whatever, major productions using HeRA today already?
Our earliest customer is a channel called Athletic Interest. So they produce videos to talk about the sports. So yeah, they are our earliest customer, a paying customer, and yeah, so they use HeRA.
And it's a big production, I take it.
Yeah, I think they have like 1 million subscribers.
Wow.
I forgot. So yeah,
Amazing.
so they are basically our design partner. Yeah, and they are still using HeRA today to produce some parts of their motion graphics. Yeah, because previously they're using SFX for sure, and now we save a lot of time for them. Yeah, and a lot of budget. Yeah.
Wow, very cool. What do you think is inevitable? What trends do you see that most people don't see yet in the sort of design plus AI space, or in the creator economy and AI space, in the maybe in the video and AI space? What trends do you see? What do you think is coming that most people are still ignoring today and that people don't know? Because you're in the space, I want the listeners to learn from you.
I think there's a huge success of video generation models like VO3, right? So people are kind of believe maybe in the near future, an entire movie can created by AI. But I think generation is one thing. But just like today, some people, even though VO3 is powerful, but many people, they still spend hours and hours to try to craft the perfect prompt, for the video they want. So I think for editing, there's a lot of things we can explore. Yeah, just like I shared before, prompting is probably not the best interface to create and edit video. So there must be some other ways to help us to create video and edit video in a more efficient way. Yeah, you don't need to waste a million prompts. So they must be aware. And yeah, there's something. So a trend, actually, I don't know. Yeah, I think we need to find the another interface. Yeah, not text based, but a more intuitive way, but still leveraging AI for video creation.
Wow.
Yeah.
Do you have an idea of what this is, or are you trying to create it?
Yeah, that's something we are trying to create. For idea, voice could be one interesting way, right? And also for HeRA. So today you can upload a video, or you can just paste a YouTube link to HeRA, and we'll try to recreate the video you provide. So that's one possible way. So user don't need to prompt; they just provide a reference, and then we can create a video for them. So I think there are many things we can explore. We'll see. I'm not a designer, so yeah.
Very cool. I mean, it's interesting. Very often right now, when we have those discussions around the future of AI usage, and then often we come to a point where we don't even know which device we're going to be using. So that's why when you say voice, immediately I'm thinking, oh, is it smart glasses or VR? And I was thinking maybe for video editing specifically, we keep using the computer, but maybe it works on just with voice on smart glasses. With for example, with the Apple Vision Pro, you can also click with your eyes. You can look at something and say, "This should be here," and you can just look at it and sort of moving with your mind.
Yeah, yeah.
Obviously not right in the near future for you.
Yeah. I mean, it might be in the near future, even though there's a kind of failure from Meta's release.
Yeah.
They tried to create the glass, but demo failed. But I think that kind of like a trend. That's why it's Apple Vision Pro and Meta are trying to create a smart glass. So I think VR, if it actually become popular, I think that could be another interesting way to create video. Imagine I can wear a smart glass, I can create a video by using my fingers.
Yeah.
I think that would be more intuitive. So
A lot of work for you to do still.
yeah,
Do you think motion designer as a job still exists in 5 years?
I think so. Yeah. I think just like software engineering, AI can write code, but we still need engineers. Why? Because we still need to control the overall system, like design, and to make sure it runs as expected. So I think right now the AI kind of free engineers from writing the code line by line, from to a more high level, so we can think more in a high level way. Yeah,
So it's going to be the same for
I
motion
think
designer.
similar. Yeah, so mostly these designers, because right now they spend lots of time using After Effects, right? That's
Pixel by pixel,
yeah,
and now you can
yeah.
free them to do more high
to
level
more
stuff.
creativity work. They can actually do more design, actual design part instead of execution. So AI can handle the execution, the human handles the creativity part. Yeah. Because I think AI, I think one thing human is better than AI is that we have much more creativity, right? Because AI learns from the past data, so they couldn't actually be creative. That's something human is good for.
Do you think AI learns to be creative in the future? Because right now it's not very creative, just like you said, it learns from the past data. Sometimes it is somehow, but it's there's a debate of, is creativity in human brains a remix of everything that existed before?
True.
And AI, that's what it's doing to it. It's remixing. Do you think AI becomes more creative?
Possible, actually. I mean, when AI comes, if AI, I mean, we kind of, AI is already smarter than human for some areas, right? So if somehow creativity can be decoded into the parameters, I think that might be possible. And I think by that time, I think human will, I think we'll question ourselves,
What are we doing here?
What's the purpose of being a human?
Yeah.
That's a more philosophical question.
No, I agree.
Yeah.
We'll see. If HeRA succeeds globally, or I should say when HeRA succeeds, what changes in the industry? What changes in the industry do you kill After Effects? But other than that, what do you think is different? We project ourselves in 5 years. HeRA is the number one standard in motion design. What changes?
Yeah, so even though we compare ourselves with After Effects, right, we try to replace them, but After Effects are used by professionals, not normal users like me, right? And I think because our version is much easier to use than After Effects, so eventually we want to power anyone to easily create motion graphics. So there's a one user group who uses After Effects today, but there's another much bigger user group who don't know how to use After Effects. So we want to make both user group to use HeRA to create motion graphics easily.
That's my case. I was not using After Effects before.
Yeah, I mean,
and I'm using HeRA because it's just so easy.
Yeah, like me as well. I mean, even though I build HeRA, but there's many times I use HeRA, and I found I feel I have a superpower because
Yeah.
I don't know how to use After Effects, but now I can create very professional motion graphics. So I think it will power many people to tell a story they want to tell much more easily. Yeah.
It's so interesting. You're creating a new market. I had a discussion here with another founder who told me exactly the same thing. He said, well, because we're much cheaper and easier to use than the legacy players, we're 90% of our customers, they were not using the other ones. They're just you know, not doing anything. And now we're opening up a new market. And that's what you're saying as well. And it reminds me of Airbnb. Airbnb, people said, oh, the market is kind of small, but they created the market. People were not renting their houses. And suddenly, because Airbnb makes it so easy, so frictionless, then it creates an entirely new market. And that's what you're doing as well. And it's, I think, a good sign. I remember this this brief video from, I believe, from David Lieb from YC, founder of Google Photos. And I believe it's him, because he said technology is bringing services that were only available to the richest person on earth, available to everyone. So before, when you were very, very rich, you had a driver to drive you around. But today with technology, you just call an Uber and it's a driver that drives you around. He said his idea of Google Photos was, before people had paper photos and hired people to actually go through them, categorize them, etc. And now you do it with technology, with Google Photos. Many use cases. Now you have an AI tutor. Instead of paying a tutor if you're super rich, the tutor is teaching you math if you're a kid, etc. Do you, and so it really reflected in what you're saying. Do you think that's what you're doing? You're using technology to make the entry point to use motion design more accessible to everyone?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, that's also already happening in other, like vibe coding. So everyone can code right now, and everyone can create movie-like video right now. And yeah, and what else? I mean, there are many examples that are enabled by AI. So same for us. We focus on motion graphics. We want to let everyone to create motion graphics easily.
So cool.
Yeah, so definitely there's a kind of new market. Yeah, just like, I think that explains why vibe coding apps. There are so many vibe coding apps in market, but still there's still a huge demand, because everyone they couldn't create an app because they don't know how to code. But the demand for writing a website or app is so huge.
Yeah.
But previously it was limited to people who know how to code, and that also explains why software engineer has a high salary. But right now, not anymore, right?
That's really cool.
Yeah.
That's really cool. I mean, we should leave it at that. I just want to repeat something that I hear a lot on Twitter and in the YC community, and that's what HeRA is empowering you to do, is you can just do things. So if you're watching us, I know many people watch because it's only YC founders, so they want to learn from you. How do I make it to YC? What are the tactical advice? One of the advice is you can just do things, and technology is making you, every person, increasingly leveraged. Before, you needed a motion designer and a developer, but today you can vibe code your app and vibe code, quote unquote, your motion design with HeRA. So you can just do things, go out and crush it. Chia, it was so good to have you here today. Thank you so much for chatting with me. I hope you had a good time.
Thank you.
Awesome. To our listeners, if you're still here, please subscribe to our YouTube channel if that's not yet the case. You can watch our beautiful faces here live, and you can turn on the notification bell to be aware of our newest video every week, usually every Tuesday. You can also listen to us on the go during your jog or during your drive on your favorite podcast platform. Also, please consider leaving us a 5-star review there. It does help. And finally, please check out my solo channel. I also do solo videos on the VC world. Just type in my name in the YouTube search bar, Gabriel Jarrison. I publish also every week over there. I will see you next week. Bye, everyone.